Hi everyone, I'm Jeremy from Evolution Aqua. This is George Farmer, the Aquascaper, and today we're going to look at one of your creations, George.
We are.
That's in Evolution Aqua HQ.
Yep.
And it's incredibly low maintenance, and I can testify to that because George leaves me to maintain it, and I'm too busy and I never maintain it. So the neglect that this tank gets in terms of maintenance is
basically I come
amazing.
up to Evolution Aqua once a month, and that's one of my first jobs is to maintain this.
And sometimes if we're all too busy, you can see it.
There's been a few times.
I reckon this tank's gone 2 months without.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The fish welfare, fish are fed.
Yeah. You can see they're healthy and
plants get fed, etc. So if you can tell us about this whole thing.
Okay, we'll start off with the hardware. Let's start from the top. So Evolution Aqua lighting hanging kit.
Yeah.
Really cool, stainless steel.
Yeah.
Really good quality. That's bolted onto the side of the cabinet yourself. So you will need to do a little bit of DIY, but very minimal, very easy. I can do it, so anyone can. Kessel lighting. Yeah. We've only got 2 A360s on there because it's an island scape.
Yeah.
So 3 would be overkill. And they're actually only on 10%.
Yeah, 10%
power.
So these are 90 watt lights, and they're on 10% each, so 9 watts each. So we've got 18 watts of LED lighting on a 500 litre tank.
Yeah. So
do we need more?
No, we don't. We'll talk about the scape in a minute. So they're on a spectral controller, 8 hours a day. Yeah. They're on kind of like the bluer setting, I think, just to get this crisp kind of cool colour.
Sure.
Let's go down to the tank itself, which we've covered in depth in another video, but just quickly, this is an Aquascaper 1500 with 15mm glass, clear silicone, rimless, braceless. 1500mm
long, 600mm front to back, 550 high. Yeah. And that's a really nice kind of slightly unique size as well.
It is. All our Aquascaper tanks are deeper front to back than they are tall, apart from the cube obviously.
Yeah.
Filtration wise, we're just running 2 large external filters, glassware in the front left there and the rear right there to create a circular motion, circulation pattern.
And that again is really easy with island scapes, isn't it? You get the gyro effect.
Exactly. And it's, as you can see, it's an island aquascape, so we've deliberately gone for like a cosmetic sand perimeter, if you like. Yeah. And then we've actually got a mound of aquascaping soil in the centre, and then we've used mini landscape rock as a border between the sand and the soil.
So what's the first bit you put in? Is it the mound of soil or the rocks? Do you backfill the... What's your usual...
If you remember, I think I did the mound of soil first. Yeah. And then we position the wood, because the wood is kind of like the main attraction, if you like, in terms of the hardscape. Then when that was in position, we kind of just made sure the soil was in a nice kind of island shape. And then I think I put the rocks in, so gently obviously, because it's against the bare bottom of the glass, and then filled the sand around the outside.
I really like these rocks, and you came back from a trip to Poland once, and you were talking about this tension. Tension. Just what's tension? So it's pleasing to the eye. It doesn't look tense to me, but it's kind of
normally, if you're into aquascaping, you know about strata and rocks, and it's the natural lines of the rocks. So you can see quite distinct, especially in this mini landscape rocks. A beautiful rock to work with. You've got these natural gouges, and that's like the strata. And normally, what I'd normally do, what I used to do a couple of years ago, was have the strata all kind of facing the same way towards the focal point.
So would I,
so your focal point's around here, so you naturally line up the strata, so it's all kind of converging. Well, that's fine, and it looks natural, but it's a little bit boring, if you like. It's a little bit formulaic, and loads of aquascapes do it. So I had a trip to see Adam Pasquello. He's one of the world's best aquascapers, especially of rocks.
He's got good rock.
Oh, amazing rock, yeah. In fact, I'm doing a big scape with him, hopefully next month, with loads of his rock. So you deliberately go against the grain, literally. You have the strata, jutting up against each other at right angles, and it just adds this sense of tension. It looks natural, but it doesn't look formulaic and contrived. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So,
and it's definitely, I think you upped your game as soon as you kind of got into that mindset. These rocks, I mean, they're really nice. And that tank you did, the Aquascaper 1200 you did at your place, it had those as well. And it's kind of changed the way that I've thought about it, because you're quite right. Initially, you just think, let's pretend it's a carved out bit of stream bed and all the kind of striations go the same way, and that kind of makes sense. But then rocks like these, I mean, they can be affected by ice, kind of, you know, glaciers. They can literally be tumbled and all over the place. And you could find, you know, you could say it's not natural. It is natural because there's a million different ways that rocks are naturally kind of dumped in nature.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you know, as an aquascaper, I'm constantly looking for nature as inspiration. And, you know, and every time I go on holiday, I love going to the coast, and I love studying the rocks.
Yeah, me too.
You know, and you'll see similar to this, but you'll see the other style, and it's just a great thing about aquascaping in nature. Really.
Okay, so that's the rocks.
That's the rocks.
That's quite a piece of wood there as well.
Yeah. This wood actually I bought myself on a shop tour for PFK. One of the great things about doing the shop tours is that you see so much selection of decent quality stuff.
Yeah.
So I nabbed this, bought this all at the same time. And had it was a really floaty wood. I had it soaking in a big water butt for ages. Used it in a discus tank at home, stripped that down, and then thought I'd bring it up here.
And it just kind of, I was here when you kind of presented. Once you've done a few scapes, it's just this natural kind of 2/3 thing. You know when it's right, don't you?
Yeah.
And it was almost within seconds.
It didn't take long. No. It's like practice something enough, it becomes second nature. And now I don't even need to think. Do I think? Oh, that needs to be 2/3. No, I just know. It looks right because I've done it so many times.
And if you overthink it, it can kind of wreck it. You're normally right. Your instincts are right within the first few seconds, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's sticking out of the water. Any kind of
so sticking out of the water just adds another element, and that's the beauty of a rimless tank with no hood. You can actually look into the scape and see a whole new dimension to the scape. So you can see plants at the back there which you wouldn't normally see. Some mosses are growing. And
again, I guess it helps with that kind of that island thing. You've literally got an island which is a branch kind of breaking the water surface.
Exactly, and you could grow mosses and they creep up and grow emergent. You can grow other plants out the top of the tank. And it's just it's big. It needs to be big wood for this big tank, obviously. So lots of vertical elements.
And kind of anecdotally, when you use wood that spans the entire height of the tank, it accentuates height as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a really good example of a low maintenance island aquascape. The plants.
Okay, so Hardscape. Let's talk about the plants.
So we've got Microsorum trident, which is a really beautiful fern. It's called trident because it basically has 3 prongs to the leaf, but it's a very fine texture compared to the other ferns. Standardus Anubius nana, and then just a variety of different cryptocorynes, and there's some just random mosses that have appeared from nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. I saw it on the wood.
And
so this is low energy.
Hugely low energy. So the filters are actually turned right down. So that, you hardly see any water movement.
This isn't the usual. This isn't 10 times. This would be 5,000 litres an hour. This isn't 5.
This is one. This is 1 times an hour probably. I'd probably normally recommend more, but it's doing absolutely fine. So
and it's that equation again between light, circulation, food.
CO2, no CO2 injection, low lighting. Slow growing plants. I don't think I've ever pruned the plants yet, and it's been set up almost a year.
Well, the crypts melted initially.
Yeah, we had almost 100% melt, didn't we?
Yeah.
And they've come back. So the more robust crypts have obviously survived, and it's just a real.
And we've seen this before. Is that Retrospiralis or Balansai or?
That's Retrospiralis. It's really thin and skinny, isn't it?
It's so slow. That thing could live for like 100 years because it's just so slow.
So I could see this keep going for years. 2-3 years easy. Before we had to do any major work on it.
So the sand, you've just got a contrasting kind of, and that adds to the island effect, doesn't it?
So you've got real dark colours, here. The rocks look really natural now with a little coating of algae, which is kind of kept under control by the snails and the shrimp. And then we've just got this like light coloured cosmetic sand that kind of gets discoloured a little bit over the few weeks and months.
This is something I've changed a few times, like hoover it and I change
you can
it.
just sprinkle some new stuff on top, but that doesn't take long, does it?
No.
So it's just a really good example of a low energy but high impact aquascape. Something that I'd recommend for retailers because they haven't got the time to maintain a high energy setup. But I can guarantee if this was in any shop, it would produce a lot of interest.
Well, I remember when you first photographed it, it's already got a lot of interest from loads of people.
I think it's still one of my most liked photos on Instagram.
It's really striking, even when it was new and now. What about the fish, George?
So these are Black Widow tetras, and when you're choosing your fish, it's really important to match it to your aquascape.
Definitely.
Not just in terms of colour, but behaviour, but also really important, I think, is the height of the fish, the aspect ratio.
100%, yeah.
So if
Completely agree.
So these are quite a tall body fish, and although the tank is longer than it is, it's quite a long panoramic tank. The main focus of the tank is this island.
Yeah.
So we've accentuated that with
Yes.
the height of the fish, the aspect ratio of the fish. And they're subtle. We didn't want gaudy colours, we didn't necessarily want bright blue, bright red.
Yeah.
They're just really subtle. This is actually in the managing director's office, and he doesn't want.
He didn't even want fish, did he? We've always got to convince him just to have fish at all.
So we wanted something quite subtle, and their behaviour is really peaceful. And it just suits the entire.
And initially, this was temperate, of course.
Yeah.
Because before we put in inline heaters, etc.
Yeah.
So these were fine at kind of room temperature, as were the shrimp. But because I was being lazy, I wanted some extra algae eaters. I wanted, flying fox, etc.
Yeah.
So we put an inline
Yeah,
heater on
yeah.
there. But even it's very low maintenance and quite tranquil as well. The whole setting, it's just kind of quite calm.
Yeah, it's really quiet. The filters are really quiet. There's even the fact that there's not much circulation. You can just see tiny movements in the leaves if you look really carefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a lovely tank. I'm actually quite envious.
Yeah,
it's here, not in my house.
It's just been. I know. I want that wood. As soon as you take that down, those rocks.
That's my wood. I paid for them.
As soon as you take this down, I'm having that wood down those rocks.
No, mine, mate.
I saw it first. Shotgun. Thanks,
So,
George.
thanks, mate. So that's Aquascaper 1500, classic low energy island aquascape. Thanks for watching.
Concrete cabinet.
Raw concrete.
Raw concrete.
This is trendy. This is cool.